Big transitions, new life streams forming, and recovering to be on your highest path. Hey, gorgeous miracles, welcome. I am so excited to have you here for your December 2023 energy update. Can you believe it's December of 2023? This energy update is for light leaders, light workers, sensitives, intuitives, and amazing awakened empaths like you. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you and thank you for being here as part of this growing awakened community. And definitely pop me a comment below and let me know you're here so I can welcome you. And if you always come around for these videos, also pop me a comment and let me know you're here, and click that subscribe button because it helps me, it helps this channel, and it helps you hear when there are new energy updates coming out. And we are going to do this how we always do these videos so that you can really tune into the energy that's here for you. So right now, take a moment and tune in to the number between 1 and 5 that stands out most for you. And this is the number that you are going to be working with in this video, and you'll want to listen to this number a couple of times. So we'll pop those bookmarks in the links below so that you can listen to it again and again. And all of these are going to be relevant. However, this number that you just chose is going to really be important for you to tune into this month, especially because we've got a lot going on in December. So without any further ado, how we do these videos is I'm going to talk about the main energy themes for this month, and then towards the end I'll do some tips and takeaways. Also, if you are interested in learning about how to utilize energy in your own coaching practice, we are opening up the doors for our Divine Light Energy Healers Academy again this spring. So definitely click on the links below to get on the wait list for that so that you can be up to date and get all the information about when that launches so that you can use the advanced energy healing tools and techniques that we teach our most amazing healers. And these techniques are life-changing. They're what I use in my private practice for years, and they perform miracles. So you can learn how to become that energy healer that you've always wanted to be. So the first energy of this month is big transitions and new life streams forming. And I'm really seeing this come forward in some very cool ways. So if you think about what you have gone through in October and November, and really all of 2020 and 2021 and 2022, and specifically 2023, has been preparing you for this new life stream. And if you think back to some of the things that you've released and some of the ways that you've been called forward to be different in the world, and some of the health challenges that you may have gone through over the last year specifically, then right now in December is when all of that stuff starts to finally pop through the soil, so to speak. So it's like you've been this seed, marinating, and you're finally popping through the soil. And in 2023, December on into 2024, it's going to feel like this big transition, this new life stream forming for you. And it's everything that you've been working on finally coming through in the ways that you wanted it to. And what they're showing me right now is this person who they had all these manifestations and all these things coming through, but it was in sort of a contrast way. It was in the way that it gave them a little taste of what they wanted, but it wasn't really the life path or the thing that they wanted. And so what I'm seeing is that this big life transition is you, after you've done all of this healing, all of this shadow work, all of this pulling away and peeling away of these blocks and limitations and beliefs that have been keeping you sort of stuck in this old programmed way of being. And now you're emerging on the other side as this bright, shiny, new version of yourself. And so you're going to have this new life stream forming for you that's really being brought forward in positive ways. And I'm so excited. It's really going to start to take off and pick up momentum this month. And they're circling me back around to the year 2020. And so if you can think about something that maybe you thought you were supposed to do back then, but you didn't do, they're showing me that you're sort of coming back around to it, but in a healthy way and in a way that things can really take off and serve you for the next phase of your own healing, growth, and evolution. And so I'm seeing this as a really positive energy. They're also showing me a person who just went through a big life transition, and now they're having to sort of reorganize every aspect of their life and sort of set themselves up again. So this can be happening in the overall life. This can be happening in your job. This can be happening in your finances or your relationships. But for many of you, this is sort of happening to your whole entire life. And that's why it's felt really big. It's felt like a really big, strong energy. And it's going to lead me to my next topic for this month, this next energy. But this first energy is going to feel like, oh, okay, finally, I can see that there's a way forward. Finally, I can see my new life forming. Finally, I'm bursting through these blocks that I didn't know even I had so many of these blocks, and I can see where I was restricting myself, and I can see where I wasn't living my best life, and I can see where maybe I was showing up as a friend in a way that I didn't want to be showing up, but I was unconscious to it all. So this is a really positive energy for you who are listening. Now, I also want to mention, for the people that are not going to be in resonance with this channel, there is a group of people that may be making a life transition off planet, that they may be making a transition into something else that is in alignment with the choices that they've made. And because they haven't made choices that are aligned with healing and growth and evolution, they've made different choices. Their big transitions may appear a little tough on the outside, okay? Their big transitions and their new life stream that's forming might be hard for you to watch them go through, because from your perspective, you think like, gosh, this really looks hard for them. And I could see that they could have avoided this, and yet they didn't. So you might also see a lot of that in December and into January, where people are transitioning off planet, people are transitioning into something that feels a little harder for them. Again, I don't suspect this is for those of you who are watching this. It's really for the people that made choices that were not in alignment with their highest path. So I'm going to speak about more of that when I get down into our fifth energy. But for right now, what's really important to know for you is that as you're witnessing that, to just hold them in a lot of compassion and to recognize and realize that not everybody's ready at the same time, and that these folks will likely, if they're staying here on planet, they'll likely go through their hard moments and their dark nights of the soul, and then have a next chance to awaken. And if they are choosing to transition off planet, we here on planet Earth see that oftentimes as a negative thing or as a loss, but oftentimes, it's kind of like when you graduate kindergarten. Your kindergarten teachers don't get to see you anymore, but now you're in a different school system. And so you're still here, but you're in a different school system. So when we go off planet and when we transition out of our physical bodies, we get to choose to come back to the school system, or we get to choose to go back to another school system. So people that might be transitioning right now off planet, we have to remember that that is a positive thing for them. And And so we can't hold that in judgment. So a lot of big transition energy this month of December on into January, February, and beyond. But this is the start of your big transition, the transition that you've been working for, the transition that you've really spent the last 4 years, 3 years, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 23, however your math works. I still don't know how to count years. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments because I have not figured it out yet. Time's not my thing. But you've been working a long time at this. And so I'm excited for you because I really feel like you're going to see a lot bursting forward and just it's going to really take off. So be sure to come back in the comments and let me know what's coming through for you, okay? Because I love to geek out with you on your magic and your miracles. Okay, the second energy for December 2023 is recovering from October and November. And if you could see the little clips that I'm doing in between, I'm just drinking down this big glass of green juice because I too have been recovering from October and November. It's been an intense month where it sort of felt like somebody is racing alongside you going, go, 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 go. And not in a friendly way, but like you better move way. And it's just felt really intense. There's been a large amount of solar flares and extra energies coming towards planet Earth, squeezing us to move forward and release. But all of that squeezing energy, when you feel squeezed for so long, can leave you feeling exhausted. So if that is you and you're really resonating with this particular number, I encourage you to really boost up your system. I personally love green juice. I think it is one of the things for me that just fortifies my system and feels like that liquid vitamin. But whatever is nourishing for you, maybe it's getting some acupuncture, maybe it's doing some at-home moxa on yourself, maybe it's getting extra massages or going to the spa or whatever it is, but really giving yourself some time to refortify yourself and refortify your physical body, because we are still we're still very much in the physical body. So we have to remember how much our physical vehicle is going through as we receive all of these new energies. And if you've been going through any sort of symptom type things this last couple months, definitely double down on your self-care, double down on your nutrient uptake. I saw something the other day where, people are feeling a little stressed with their finances and are not feeling like they can spend as much money on nourishing foods. But if you're going to spend money on something this holiday season, double down on your health, double down on your nutrients, double down on care for your physical body, because it has been so much. And really, the gas that we put in our vehicle makes a huge difference. In fact, if you drive a luxury car, they'll tell you that because it's a high octane engine, you have to put in high octane fuel. If you put in fuel that's not high octane, your engine starts knocking and all these bad things start to happen in the engine because it's not combusting properly. So we have to remember that the more energy that comes in, it starts to make our bodies more high octane. And so we need to feed and fuel our bodies with more high octane fuel. That means a lot of nutrients, less chemicals. And I even encourage you to go through your house and really look at, are you using products with scents in them still? Is there still Tide in your cupboard? If there is, pitch it, right? Is there still Dawn, that blue detergent underneath your kitchen sink? Toss it out. Replace all of that stuff with things that don't have artificial scents and dyes. Replace all that stuff with minimalized packaging that's good for you and good for the planet. Your high octane vehicle will thank you, and so will the planet, and it'll help you feel replenished and restored and in alignment with that new earth. Because here's the thing, this new earth that we are bringing forward it can't tolerate all the plastic and all the chemicals, and neither can your body. So now is a great time to replenish, renew, restore. Go through your personal care, go through your house, go through all those little things and use it as an end of the year practice, right? Think of it like setting your New Year's intentions now and really cleaning out all the gunk that you know doesn't serve the highest frequency version of you, and use it as that restoration moment for yourself. And I guarantee you, when your house is more clear and your body's more clear, everything feels easier and you feel less symptomatic and run down. Okay, let's talk about energy number 3. And this energy is all about circling together with your tribe of light. So in December, you might feel even more called to circle in together with that light tribe, your soul family, and gather them up even more. This is going to become really important, and in fact, they're telling me crucial in 2024. So in December, any chance you get, any invitation you get from friends that you know, like these are my soul tribe friends, definitely, if you can, take them up on getting together, because now is a time to start to formulate this circle of light and circle of friends that you can support each other and hold each other, and start to form some consistency in getting together. We are in a larger 3 to 4 year transition now. See, 2024, 5, 6, 7. You guys will tell me how to count the years, I know. But from 2024 until 2027 are going to be the years where we start to gather ourselves back in more community. We've been doing that path of the Lone Ranger, of the lone wolf, that really independent path where, we're not necessarily gathering in circle all the time, and we're not necessarily, hanging out in a soulful way. Mark that down, in a soulful way with our friends. Yes, in the past we get together for football nights or, party nights or movie nights, but now we're gathering together in a container that's both with men and women. So it's not exclusionary like it has been in the past. And it is in that soul-filled way where we're having deepened conversations and deepened connections, deepened heart frequency connections. And so we're going to need more and more and more of that. And we're going to be coming back to it, because that's how we used to be many thousands of years ago. And we've really lost that. And so it's coming back online. So this December, as much as you can in your gatherings, infuse it with those soul connections. Ask those soulful questions. There's some games out there that allow you to ask these soul-filled questions. Gratitude is one of them, and it's got some great questions in there that you can ask that invite that soul to soul connection, versus like, hey, did you see the Steelers game on the TV the other night? Or hey, did you watch the latest episode of Ted Lasso? Yes, great, but we want some more soul based, deep feeling connections. And that's what's going to be happening in December specifically. So now's your chance to rally your tribe. And if you don't have a tribe, if you are still kind of, been scratching your head and going, gosh, where are my people? Set your intention this month to really bring in new connections. Really be shown. Ask your soul to show you where these people are hanging out and how to connect with them, not just online, but locally, where you can sit down face to face and actually get a hug. You can actually get a smile and that in-person connection, because that's where we really grow and bloom. And that's also where we're shown where our little rubs are, where our friction points are as a human being. We show where we're still triggered to respond and react. And so when we're living these more online lives, as we've been kind of forced into doing over the course of the last couple of years, we don't get a chance to grow in the same ways. So Bring yourself back to that more soul tribe connection. Seek out those places where you can get together in person and take up every opportunity you can to ask those soul connections. In fact, one of the things that I like to do when I'm talking to people is a common thing in conversation is to say to somebody, oh, well, what do you do for a living? So I don't usually ask that question. I'll say instead, what's your soul here to do? And then I'll just watch their face and let them speak. And some people can answer it, and some people will say, gosh, I have no idea. But I'm really for asking those soul-based connections and having those deep conversations. And it starts with you allowing yourself to ask deeper questions. So maybe something to do for yourself this month is to write down some soul-based conversation questions that you can ask people when you're in these types of groups and in these types of gatherings. Something else I want to mention this month is that we've got a strong transit of Mercury happening, and it's meeting up with Mars, and it is also meeting up with Saturn. And so this can be a harder aspect and bring up more clashy energies. And so in your family gatherings, really be mindful of kind of sitting back and waiting to respond and going into that observer mode and really just offering love instead of a response, and just sitting with people and hearing them. So much in communication, we think we need to have a response for everybody's statement, or to tell them how that's not how it is, or to tell them how we see it. And something you can try this holiday season that will really serve you well as we have more of that clashy Mars energy is that we can just simply acknowledge the person and say, oh, that's a really great perspective. Thank you so much for sharing it. And that simple phrase, that's a really great perspective. Thank you so much for sharing it, is something that I learned years ago from a class from Stephen Covey, where he talks about seeking first to understand and then being understood. And just having that phrase really helps people feel understood, and then can kind of take you off the hook for needing to respond, for needing to tell them how they're wrong or how you see it differently. And in these family gatherings that we'll have this month of December, there really is extra charges of energy to where you really want to try to stay out of heated arguments or discussions, because of the potential for them to really blow up. And then you realize both you and Aunt Sally didn't have it right? When you and Aunt Sally go at it, it's like, oh gosh, we both weren't seeing it correctly, because there is a big Neptunian aspect. And Neptunian is kind of like that murky, nobody really knows what's going on, a lot of confusion. So there's some energy of that this month, and you just want to be on the lookout for it, so you can stay on the right side of this by trying to have those soulful connections, and then simply saying, that's such a great perspective. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. All right, let's talk about the fourth energy for this month. It's new truths exposed, both personally and globally. So you might be in a position where you're having to confront an aspect of yourself that has been operating in the world in a way that doesn't serve you now. And so they're showing me an image of a woman who's started to date. And she, in the past, has always dated in this particular way. And maybe she's had a lot of casual flings and sort of been a little like non-caring about how things work out. But now she's really wanting something long-term, a commitment. This person they're showing me really wants maybe even a life partner. And so from this person's now perspective, she's going to have to go and do things really differently and say no to certain things that don't serve her going forward. Now, that's just one example of this that they're showing me at this moment. It might be that you are you've lived with a partner for a very long time, and you folks just had a breakup recently, and now you're having to go through your house and realize, oh, there's all this stuff in your daily routine and how you've been caring for your house and how you've been caring for yourself that doesn't really at all align with you. And you've got to do a big, huge clean out. You've got to do a big realignment with how you've been living your life, because you realize how much you might have abandoned your true self through this process of being with this other person and have gotten commingled in codependency. And so now that you've done all of this healing, now that your outer world has changed, you can see, oh golly, I've really got to go through my kitchen cupboards, and I've really got to go through my drawers, and I've really got to go through how I do my daily routine because I've gotten so off path. So however this shows up for you, this energy of new truths exposed is going to be something that feels sort of deeply personal, where you're having to look at how you've been operating in a way that doesn't serve your highest self and your highest path. And now's your chance to really clean it up. I will also say we're going to see some of this on the global stage, and I'm reluctant to tell what I'm seeing here because it feels very big. So I'm gonna make a separate video and I'll put it in our members community in the portal. But I think that in December, we have a big possibility of seeing a new truth exposed in such a big way that it might even be shocking, and it might leave some people feeling like, oh, I'm not even sure what's going on. So again, I'm hesitant to say because it feels so big even for me to say out loud, but there is an aspect of that might play out on the global stage. There's also an aspect of the energetic for December that feels a little clashy on the global stage and has the potential for some violence. So the thing to note about this is that the more you can tune into the frequencies that you want, the frequencies that bring you joy, and really infuse our global energetic with that helps everybody, right? The more you can show up as the frequency of love. There's an author that I just love. His name's Gay Hendricks, and his books are incredible. And in one of his books called Conscious Living, he talks about a concept that I talk about a lot, which is holding the frequency of divine love. And he says, I'm not sure if I can quote this exactly, but he says, can you hold the frequency of divine love when you're getting a root canal? And if you can, that's how you really know you've got it. Because what we're going to need to be able to do over the next months and years, and you've been training for this, by the way, is holding that frequency of divine love. And holding it even when truths are exposed, holding it even when times are hard, holding it even when there's global chaos at play. So this month might give you a great opportunity to hold more of that frequency of divine love and be even more steadfast in it, both with yourself and on the global stage. Okay, let's talk about the fifth and final energy of December, an invitation to become your highest self. So we're always sort of in that invitation to become your highest self, but the month of December's got something really special happening. So Mercury's going into retrograde, and how they're showing this to me is that you're going to circle yourself back to this time last year. So I want you to think about this time last year. What was going on in your life? What was happening? Odds are you were in the middle of a pretty big breakdown in terms of maybe your physical health, or there was something that was starting to break down in your world. And now this year, you feel more energized, even though it's been a pretty tough November and December. You're feeling more energized. You're feeling like, okay, I've got the ball rolling in the right direction again. And so now you're being invited to take a look at, how can you be your best self? What things can you start to do now, before January 1st, before setting those New Year's resolutions, before thinking about all that? Who do you want to become now? And that's going to be your secret key, because becoming your highest self is something that, like I said, we're always working on. And there's always, in that spiral of becoming our highest selves, we're moving up and up the spiral. But right now, asking yourself, what would my highest self be doing today? How would they be eating? How would they be running their business? What steps would they be taking in their relationships? What kind of conversations would they be having? And then starting to do those things now, because it's not really about becoming the highest self. It's really about who we have to be to become that. Right? So it's about who we are being in the now moment. And the more you can just show up and act as if your highest self in the now moment, the better things get. And so right now, this month in December, you're having a great opportunity to really be supported with that, because last year the energy wasn't supporting that. For those of you who are watching this video, and you also might need some outside supports. You might need, for example, I'm in the process of hiring a trainer because I'm back at the gym. This time last year, I was fighting for my health. And this time this year, I've joined the gym again, and I'm hiring a trainer because I really want to learn how to do some things with my physical body. And I want to learn how to do it safely and strengthen and get my physical body really back on track. So you might need to hire some outside support. You might need to seek some outside support in respect to your relationships. You might need to seek some support there, maybe going to some Tantra workshops with your partner, or maybe going to another type of workshop with your partner. Maybe it's reading a book. One of my favorite all-time books for couples is Conscious Loving by Gay Hendricks. Gay and Kathy, I think, wrote it, and it's a fabulous book for couples. Also, Alison Armstrong does amazing workshops for couples. So maybe it's, that you go and you seek outside support to help you become that best version of yourself, because now's really the time where that energy portal, it is open, it's ready, and we are here to create new things. For many of you, this is really here in your business. You're having to look at your business and go, what's the highest version of my business? For many of you, you're having to look at your packaging and realize, my packaging is not on point when it comes to New Earth. Even if you're making a healthy product, you're really taking a look at some of that. Or maybe you're looking at how you've been doing your business and realizing it's not supporting you, and you're running around supporting everybody else, but it's not fortifying you. So this month is a beautiful opportunity to take that Mercury and retrograde energy of doing the look back. But I'm again seeing this looking back as like you're coming back around to something to really move it forward in this super New Earth aligned, really positive energy that's on track with your highest path, and you really setting and being an example for other people that are in the process of waking up. In 2024, we are still going through this huge wake up cycle of about 1 billion people. I talked about in my 2023 predictions, between 2023 and the end of 2024, we're going to have about 1 billion people waking up. And it's it's been popping. So expect to keep seeing that, and expect to keep seeing it with people in your sphere of your world where you can be that light, where you can be the one that's actually been through enough dark nights of the soul to where now you're like, yeah, I've got you. I can help you out. I can be there for you. I know that it's possible for you. So, let's talk about really quickly some tips and takeaways for this month of December. Well, first and foremost, definitely fortify yourself. Anything you can do to refortify your nervous system, to reinvigorate your physical body, whether that's getting more, in different workouts in, whether that's getting more green juice or higher nutrients, that's going to be really important, especially as we move into January, February, and beyond, and March. Then definitely take a look at how you can have more soul inspired, soul infused conversations and be really holding this trajectory of your highest path, even so much as saying the words to yourself daily and hourly if you need to. I now choose to align myself with my highest path. I now choose to receive my highest path. I now choose to energize and invigorate myself on my highest path. Okay, my friends. Well, I hope you have loved this energy update. As always, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, make a comment down below and let me know what number resonated with you the most. I love to hear your comments. I live for it, in fact. So definitely let me know. I can't wait to see you next time, and be on the lookout. Very soon this month is going to be my 2024 yearly prediction. So you can get notified about that. And we also have an incredible workshop coming up. It's called Release and Rise, and I'll put that in the description box below. And you can use the coupon code 2024 to get it for half off. Okay, I love you so much. Thank you for being here on the planet. Your presence is invaluable. I will see you soon, and bye for now.